All right, here's what we do next. I'm saying that, okay, I'm back to the home page. What other GenAI features are worth exploring in Databricks free edition? What do you recommend to learn next in GenAI engineering on Databricks? So I am back to the Databricks homepage, and I'm asking Claude that help me understand what should I learn next in GenAI engineering. So it suggests immediate next step, AI agents. Click start building under build your first AI agent. Let me do that. Start building. Okay, let's come back to Claude and let's see what it says. This builds on what you have learned. You'll create agents that can use tools, access data, and perform multi-step reasoning. After AI agents explore models and serving. Okay. Okay. Which is on left sidebar models. Let's go ahead and check. So on the left side, we have these models, servings, features, experiments, playground. It's all related to AI ML. We'll come back to that. Okay, so there we do deploy foundation models, test different LLMs, Llama, DBRX, etc., compare model responses, vector search, build RAG, retrieval augmented generation systems, create embeddings for your data, enable semantic search, ML flow for generative AI, track AI experiments, version your prompts, monitor model performance. Okay, so the learning path is that we pick up AI agents, then we go for model playground, then we go for vector search basics. Okay, let's pick up AI agents. Let's start with AI agents. Looking forward. All right. So what it says, click start building. This will take you to the AI agents interface where you can create agents that can use tools, reason through problems, and interact with data. Okay, so let's show it. So where did that go? Okay, yeah, this is your build your first AI agent. I am here, so let me take a snap and give it to AI. All right, I am here. What should I do next? Okay, so it says you are now in Mosaic AI Agent Framework. Quick Start Notebook. Yes, I am in the Quick Start Notebook. So it says that this teaches you to build agents that can use tools and reason through complex tasks. Okay. Next step would be, it says run the first setup cell by clicking the play button. So this is my setup cell. All right. So this is my pip install, MLflow, Databricks OpenAI, Databricks agents. Okay. So what is this? Let's read. Build, test, and deploy an agent using Mosaic AI agents framework. The Quick Start notebook demonstrates how to build, test, and deploy a generative AI agent using Mosaic AI agent framework on Databricks. Define and test an agent. The agent uses an LLM served on Databricks Foundation Model API. The agent has access to a single tool, the built-in Python code interpreter tool on Databricks Entity Catalog. It can use this tool to run LLM-generated code in order to respond to user queries. We will use Databricks OpenAI SDK to query the LLM point. Okay, so let's go ahead and execute this. So it may take 30 to 60 seconds. Let it continue. It should do a bunch of installations, what is needed. And then the packages which get installed, those will be ready to use. Has taken more than required. And we need to restart the kernel. Okay, so this is what I will execute. I've restarted. I have restarted. So why it is giving it again? Let me ask AI. So let's come back on my Claude screen and I want to ask a question. All right, I executed the cell. However, I hope both lines, one for pip and second for db utils, would have got executed. Why then I am getting the yellow warning? It should go away, right? Right? This is what I expected, no? It's normal and expected. Vim install added new packages, the dbutils library.restart Python restarted your Python kernel to load these packages. The warning stays visible as a reminder, but the restart already completed. Scroll down and run the next cell, which sets up the LLM endpoint. Okay, let's go back. So I am here, and this is the cell. This is cell number 4. And this is where we need to, the LLM endpoint. So it says the snippet below tries to pick the first LLM API available in your Databricks workspace from a set of candidates. You can override and simplify it. To just specify LLM, okay, you can override and simplify it to just specify to just specify LLM endpoint name, it is set to none. Okay. Tries to pick the first LLM API available in your Databricks workspace from a set of candidates. Okay, let me ask it a question. So for that, I will say tries to, let me come back and ask a question. I read this line, check the highlighted one. Where do I find this list of LLM APIs in my Databricks workspace? What does this LLM endpoint equals none mean, right? So basically, I'm drafting my question. My question is that I read this. The snippet below tries to pick the first LLM API available. Where is this available? In your Databricks workspace. Okay, where is this available in my Databricks workspace? That's what I'm trying to ask. From a set of candidates, what are the other candidates? You can override and simplify it to just specify LLM endpoint name. What does it mean to, what does this statement mean? Let me show back. I'm also mentioning you can override and simplify it to just specify LLM. Let me maybe put it in double quotes. And then I'll also put the image, and I'll give it to Claude. Just for your reference, this is what I want to ask Claude. Let it get back. LLM endpoint name equal to none means no specific model is chosen yet. The code will auto-detect which models are available. The loop tries candidate models, Databricks, Claude 3.7, Sonnet, Meta, Llama 3370B instruct. To see available LLM APIs in your workspace, go to left sidebar, serving foundational models API. Okay, let me switch my tab. And it says that to see LLM APIs in your workspace, go to left sidebar, serving foundational model APIs. Okay. All right. So here we see serving endpoints. Yeah. We see serving endpoints, and we have a bunch of name, state, served entities. Okay. Task. Let me show this page to AI and say, okay, so go to the left sidebar, serving foundation model APIs. I think this is what it is. Or click models on the left side. If I go to models, I get to see the models here. All right, so I'll get here. I have taken a snapshot. Okay. Check image 1. I get this on clicking serving. Then I paste the image, Control V. Then I'd say check image 2. I get this on clicking models. So I click on models and I take the other snap also. Maybe I can point to models I can point to models, copy, and I paste that, and I quickly get validation from AI and say, are both places showing the same LLMs that get used? I'm verifying. I went to these places, I saw these. Whatever we see the models or the when we see serving endpoints, do they mean the same thing? So it is saying, okay, these are different things for different purposes. Image one, which is serving, these are deployed endpoints ready to use for inferencing. These are what AI agents call. You can see models like Databricks GPT OSS 120B, Databricks Llama 4 Maverick, Databricks Meta Llama 3 370B Instruct. Then image 2 is about models. These are registered models in MLflow models registry used for versioning and governance, but not necessarily deployed. For AI agents, you need the serving endpoints, which is image 1. The code is looking for endpoints like this, which I can see in your serving list. Now let's get back to your AI agent. Go back to the notepad and run cell 4. The auto detection should find one of these serving endpoints automatically. What happens when you run it? All right, so let's go back. What we learned is that what we need is what's there in serving. So by default, one of these will get picked up. So my job would be to go back to, let me click on workspace. And I have this built your first agent, so I'll go there. And here what I was asked to do was to execute this. And I have a bunch of code. I want to understand what is happening here. So again, I can take a snapshot. And I'll ask AI, help me understand what is this code doing. So I'll come back and say, I can see this Python code, which is doing something. Help me understand the same. What, why, and what's going to be the impact of running this? Let's stop it because I had to give the image, and I can copy and paste the same thing and execute. Okay. So let's go back and try to understand what this code is doing. Is endpoint available? It's a function. It takes endpoint name. So it tests if a specific LLM endpoint is working. Okay. Sends a test message. This is so I say, okay, client workspace client. Okay. Once again. All right, serving endpoints, get OpenAI client, chat.completions.create model endpoint. Okay, this picked up from endpoint name. This is the message. The role is the user. The content is what is AI. Okay. What AI says is this function is endpoint available. It tests if a specific LLM endpoint is working. It sends a test message, what is AI, to the endpoint, returns true if successful, otherwise false if it fails. Okay, so I'm here in the main loop tries two candidate endpoints. So this is the first endpoint, Claude 3.7 Sonnet, and this is the second endpoint, which is the MetaLlama instruct, and tests each one using the function. So this is, it basically calls this function for each one of them and tests whether they're working or not. And whichever one is working, it is setting the endpoint name, right? And the assert statement is ensuring that an endpoint was found. Otherwise, it will throw an error. So based on that understanding, so what is the impact? LLM endpoint name gets set to a working model. So we wanted this, if this is set to none, right? So right now it is set to none. It needs to get set to the right model. So whether it will be this one or this one. Okay, so your AI agent will have a brain to work with. So your LLM model is nothing but the brain, right? So it's right now the brain is set to nothing, but it is going to be set to something. So let's execute that. So if both are unavailable, I'll get an assertion error. The test call will take some time. So, okay, it says that got executed. So how do I know what endpoint setting came to? All right, so I'll take a snapshot again. So the code ran successfully. I'll say, I'll go to AI and I'll say, the code ran successfully. However, I wish to know what model did the LM endpoint name got set to? As you said, right, it will get to set to something, one of the two. What did it get set to? Okay, so I need to simply print. Got it. So let's add a code piece and I'll put this here and then execute it. Okay, so the selected LLM point is not this, but MetaLlama 3370B instruct. Okay. All right. So let me tell AI that this is what I can see. Hey, this is what I can see. Okay. So let's move to the next one. So what did AI said? So AI said, let's scroll down to find the next section in the notebook, which is this one, section 6. Look for a section that starts defining the actual agent, usually has code creating an agent with tools. Okay, so I have this bunch of code. Import JSON, MLflow, Databricks.sdk, import workspace client, Databricks underscore OpenAI, import UC function toolkit, Databricks function client, something, something. Automatically log traces from LLM calls for ease of debugging, something. Get an OpenAI client configured to talk to Databricks model serving endpoints. We will use this to query an LLM in our agent. Then we have this workspace client dot serving endpoints dot get OpenAI client. We'll understand all this. Load Databricks built-in tools, a stateless Python code interpreter. Okay. Something happening. Then call tool, raise error, run agent. Sends a user prompt to the LLM and returns a list of LLM response messages. The LLM is allowed to call the code interpreter tool if needed to respond to the user. Okay, run agent, then to model executed a tool, call it, bunch of things. So I don't understand much what's written. Okay, so the next section is having all this code. So let me pass it on. And let's try to understand this, what's happening. I see a lot of code in the next cell. Let me paste it below for you. Okay. I do not understand much of it. What is it doing? Again, would like to understand why it's there and what's going to be the impact of executing the code. Okay, I give it and let it explain what's happening. I know something related to agent and all those things, but let's break it down. What this code creates: an AI agent brain, connects to your Llama model to think and respond. Okay. A tool, Python code executor, gives the agent ability to write and run Python code. Good. Like giving the AI hands to do calculations, create charts, analyze data. Okay. So this agent is going to be executing Python code, right? So it is going to be the ability to write and execute Python code. So it's like we can talk to it in natural language. It will understand. Based on that, it will generate Python code and execute it to perform calculations, create charts, analyze data, so on and so forth. And then we have a function called run agent, which takes the question, lets the AI decide if it needs to use tools, returns the complete conversation. Why it's structured this way? Tool integration. So it says instead of just chatting, your agent can actually do things. Yes. Run calculations, process data, create visualization. So agents are supposed to do things and not just suggest. Multi-step reasoning. The agent can read your question, decide I need to write code for this, execute the code, give you the results. Impact of running this, positive. You'll have a working AI agent that can code and analyze data. What to expect? This cell just sets up the functions. It won't show up any visible output yet. All right. You'll test it with actual questions in the following cells. This is essentially building a chat GPT that can write and run Python code on your Databricks data. All right, I think I got to understand. So basically, let's go to the Databricks portal. So this entire bunch of code, it's basically, we are creating the brain of the agent where it's going to accept the question from the end user. So basically that's the prompt. And it lets the AI decide if it needs to use the tool. It's somewhere happening here. If the model executed a tool, call it. Tool call is happening, which is here. I think this is the tool for Python execution. And here the Databricks function client being called. So a bunch of calls happening, all right? And returns the conversation. And this basically is the agent code, which gets the ability to write and run Python code. So this is the brain, right? So shall we go ahead and execute it? Let's go ahead and do that. It said that when you execute it, it just sets up the functions. It won't show any visible outcome yet. So that's what it just got executed. All right, so I can say, hey, I ran the code. Nothing happened as expected. What next? Yeah. I can tell what I can see The cell is followed up by more cells. Code check here. So I get, basically I'm again giving it the context. Context is the king. All right, so basically I'm telling it what I see next, and it is saying you run the cell 7. Basically, I'm calling the agent and I'm asking what is the square root of 429. Okay, so with this cell, you ask your agent a math question. The agent will decide whether it needs to write Python code to solve it, execute the code using the Python tool, show you both agent's reasoning and code it ran. All right, this is your first real test. You'll see agent thinking, writing code, and solving the problem. And after the cell sun runs successfully, cells below, starting with cell 9, will wrap your agent enable flows framework for better logging and deployment. Okay, first let's go ahead and deploy. Let's go ahead and execute this one. So it's executing. Let's wait. It's creating some trace UI. Okay, so it says called system AI Python exec in some call underscore something. It's showing tools, and this tool is about, so executes Python code in a stateless sandboxed environment and runs its std out. The runtime cannot access files or read previous executions output. All operations must be self-contained using only standard Python libraries. Calls to other tools are prohibited. Okay. So this tool is being called. So AI agent decides to call this tool. Message is, the user's message is this. And this is what the assistant did. It called system AI Python exec. Appears like it's calling that function. I need to interpret this, and then the code. This code should get executed, and result I'm getting 20.71. All right, so I can simply say, and simply pass on this outcome. I come back to AI, I'll come back to Claude, and I'll say, hey, I get this outcome on executing the code shown in the image. Can you explain what happened? Okay, so I pass it on to AI. Let AI help me. So AI worked exactly as designed. Here's what's happened. Okay, so let's go back and check. So the question which was received, which is this, what is the square root of 429? Agent's decision was, I need to calculate this. I'll use my Python tool. That's why this tool was called at the first place. The code generated was this. This is the generated. This is an example of generative AI in action. And tool execution, the code ran and returned, which is this tool got executed, and the return value was, the tool gave 20.71. Right, so top section, this is a proof that agent worked. And this is the MLflow trace UI, detailed debugging views. The tool section shows the tool, the message section shows the full conversation flow. So you can minimize also tool section, message section, user and assistant. It shows that your agent can think, decide, and act. That's the important thing. It understood a math question, chose the right tool, wrote correct Python code, executed it successfully. This is multi-step reasoning, much more sophisticated than just chatting, right? All right, so let's, we have the next cell. Let's take a snapshot of this and pass it on to AI. All right. This is what I see to be done next. What do you suggest? What's happening here? A mistake from my side. So I should first put the image, and then I take this again, paste it here, and click again. This code is wrapping your agent for production use. This is what's happening. Okay, let's go back and discuss what's happening. All right, so it says it makes your agent enterprise ready. Okay, it says wrap your agent definition in MLflow's chat agent interface to prepare your code for logging. By using MLflow's standard agent authoring interface, you get built-in UIs for chatting with your agent and sharing it with others after deployment to AWS, Azure, or GCP. Okay, so a bunch of imports from typing, import any option. Okay, the MLflow pyfunc something something types agent, import something something. OpenAI autolog something, quick starter agent. Okay, there is a function predict, message list, context option, something, 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 chat agent response, extract the last user prompt from the input messages, or run agent to get back a list of response messages. Now, map each response into a chat agent message and return the response. So it says takes your simple run agent function, wraps it in MLflow's chat agent interface. Okay, chat agent interface. Provides standardized logging UI and deployment capabilities. Okay, the quick start class, quick start agent, it's a class. Gets the user's question from the message format, calls your agent, runs your run agent function. Okay. Something is happening and I don't understand fully. But it says it wraps your agent definition in MLflow's chat agent interface to prepare your code for logging. Let's execute this. Got executed. Hmm. So, okay. So AI says that there's not going to be any outcome. That's what happened. All right, I ran the code for the cell 9. No output as expected. Shall I go ahead and run the next cell? And what's my next cell? Let me put up the next cell also here. All right, this is the next cell. One in second image. Okay. Quick start agent. So this is quick start agent class. So it will be creating an instance for quick start agent, tests it with the same math question, shows the response in MLflow standardized message format. So, okay, let's execute it. I'm just going to, yeah. Okay. So again, it is showing him in MLflow UI. Okay, so now it is format. This time it is getting the outcome, but role assistant, content none, role tool, content 20, something like that. This confirms your agent wrapper is working correctly and ready for deployment. Okay. Log the agent and register it to Unity Catalog as a model. This step packages the agent code and its dependencies into a single artifact to deploy it to serving endpoint. Okay, that's what this code is supposed to do, quite a big one. It says deploy the agent. You deploy it. And you can chat it via AI Playground. Okay, we'll figure it out. So right now, the two important steps, there's a ton of code here, which is doing something, which I need to put my head around. Let me take a break. We'll come back to discuss more on this. We will research more on this coding pattern and what line by line what is happening so that we can get to understand the code properly. Once we understand it properly, then we will execute it again and we will try to develop more understanding of the UI, the outcomes and everything. We'll ask more questions. So let's take a well-deserved break right now.